Love is the highest vibration. Oh my God. I can finally sit and take a deep breath, because I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to another episode of Dreyas Closet. This is season 4, episode 8. And today I have a very, very, very special guest with me. I have Shei Manon, the wonderful and renowned photographer that everybody knows in Albany, New York. Please say hello, give your greetings and all that.
Yes, hi everybody. It's finally nice to be on Dreyas Closet. I am Shei T. Manon.
Yes.
I am photographer, creative director. I hold so many damn
Give your
titles.
Give your
Okay,
AKAs.
so it's photographer, creative director, it's actor, filmmaker, it's video editor, producer, director. The list goes on. Okay?
Oh my goodness.
The list just goes on.
I am honored to have you on the show today, because normally you're the one interviewing me or like shooting me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is absolutely an honor, guys, to have you on board. And I really want to say thank you for always supporting Dreyas Closet, and helping me along the way, and just, being a part of everything that makes this all that much more special. I really appreciate it.
Of course, I appreciate it. I love supporting community, and especially people who are doing creative stuff. I love it. I think we need more, and everything. So anything that I can do to support the community, I'm always down for it.
And we love and appreciate you for it. Seriously.
Thank you.
So what's going on with you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired today. There's a lot going on. I didn't get enough sleep, but other than that, I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing good too. I'm chilling. We had a couple of technical difficulties prior to filming, but we're here. We're great. It's going to be fabulous. So I wanted to bring Shei on board today because, like I said, a lot of times when I bring people on my show to tell their stories, because I want them to tell their story, because I feel that oftentimes a lot of us in the queer community can be very much misunderstood, and not even just in our community, but I just love people who have a very strong story to tell, and I want to allow you the space to do that. I have a lot of great questions for you. We're going to be touching on a lot of different topics in your personal life, within the community, and how you came about.
Absolutely.
Are you excited?
I am.
Would this be considered like a tell-all, or like?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, so I don't really tell my story often. I don't really touch too much on my past. As I've always been one, I'm a very private person, and stuff like that. So certain things I don't always feel the need to touch on, but I thought this would be a good opportunity for people to know my story.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to jump right into it. I know your family. I know your mom. I know that you were raised in a Muslim household. And I know that you have a lot of siblings. So do you want to let people know, like, can you share a bit about your upbringing and what it was like growing up in a Muslim single-parent household with 10 siblings?
Yes, but before I do that, little trigger warning. My past is not one of pleasant, etc. But with that being said, it has shaped me to who I am, and it's a lesson, and it's honestly stuff that many of us, especially in the Black community and also within the Black LGBT community, has gone through. So to answer the question, my upbringing was interesting. So as you mentioned, I was raised in a Muslim household, and everything. I have 6 sisters and 3 brothers. We all don't share the same fathers. We share the same mom. The last 5 of us share the same father, or I call sperm donor and such. And the last 5 of us, we are Senegalese American. We're first generation.
Okay.
He's from Senegal. Our family over in Africa is from Senegal. We have a very deep and rich history with that. Our family's last name is Nias. My grandfather, Ibrahim Nias, was a chief over there. He had 75 kids. He led people through Dakar. There's so many books and stuff on him. If you guys look him up on Google, he has a Wikipedia page. A lot of his books are in French and everything. There's videos of him. He was great. And over there, I believe, and I'll check with my sister. Over there, we are basically royalty over there.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. I didn't know that about you. So how did your family dynamics shape your identity and values?
Oh, see, me growing up, the family dynamics, it was interesting because I'm the last out of 10. So by the time my mom had her first child when she was 19. And to keep in mind, my mother was born before the Civil Rights Movement. She was born in the 50s, before the Civil Rights Movements. She had the first child, which is my eldest sister, Sean, at 19. By the time I came along, she was 40. And also my sister was pregnant with my niece, who we are the same age. My niece was born January 1st, on March 1st.
Okay.
So the dynamics it was interesting. I don't know really how to explain it because when I came, my siblings were either already adults or they were
That's how it
late,
was for me.
they were like late teenagers, or I have a brother who was like 2 years older than me.
Okay.
But that's all. So it was basically like we didn't really have a connection because of the age differences and whatnot. So like the older ones, they were more close with each other. The last 5, I think, were so close I can't really speak for them, but I know for me, I wasn't really close to my siblings. The only one I was really close to was my niece, Rakia, because she's the same age as me. So we basically grew up together.
Okay. Wow. That's another thing that I didn't know. And so a little thing about myself is that my dad, he had me when he was at 46. And so my siblings, when I was born, they were in their 20s, fully grown. And now, like, they're pushing their 50s. And I don't keep in contact with them. They hate my guts. But neither here nor there. But how did your religious background influence your understanding of sexual orientation?
Okay, so this is an interesting one. So when I was growing up, so in my culture, homosexuality is forbidden. It's a no-no. And in Africa, certain parts, you can either be jailed or for long periods of time, or you can be killed and whatnot. So I was always told to no. But the funny thing is, my mother, as I used to call it, my mom is a fag hag. My mom's gone, so may she rest in peace. But she was a fag. She loved the gays and stuff like that. So, in one hand, like I said, in the house, though she never made me feel this way, it was my understanding of the culture. It was not okay. You could not be that, and it was very you were. It was not acceptable.
Yeah. And
I'm the only son who is gay. Apparently, I have a sister who is bi. I don't know. I can't really speak for her, but I'm the only son that's gay, and that's been interesting.
That would seem like it would be interesting, especially out of all siblings, and then coming from so many siblings, and then Muslim background. I can only imagine.
But the thing I do want to say is that even though we were Muslim, we weren't like strict Muslim. Like I know growing up, we could not eat pork, which to me as a kid, you can't tell me that I can't eat some especially Lucky Charms. You couldn't eat Lucky Charms because
of the
pig fat
and mushrooms.
I still ate the shit.
Marshmallows.
I still ate the shit. That was my favorite food. I was gonna eat it. You couldn't. So we couldn't do that. We had. We did. We engaged in Ramadan, the Eid. We went to the mosque, and so I used to dress like this a little often. I used to wear the kufi. I still wear the kufi in the garment sometimes and everything, but yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, how did your family react when you came out, and how was how was their reaction? How has their reaction impacted your relationship with them?
When I came out, I didn't really give a fuck. At that point, I was 20. I was grown. I had my own place. I was taking care of myself. I came out to myself 2 days prior. And then I slowly started coming out to folks. But how I did it was, for me, it was like, I'm not looking for your approval. I'm not looking for your acceptance because I really don't care. I just wanted you to know from me instead of hearing it from others. And that came about because one of my sister's best friends and her roommates, I was talking to her about it because I didn't know how they would react, and she kind of knew them more than I did. And so she encouraged me to tell them when I was ready, but also to, come out when I was ready, but also tell them myself versus them hearing it from somebody else and everything. So that's how I did it. I was accepted because it was with the mannerisms you see now, I've always had.
Right.
It was nothing really new and stuff like that. But with my mom, she was accepting, but it was basically, it's one thing to accept a stranger who's LGBTQ. It's another when it's your child. So for her, it took her a little bit. She was accepting, but it just took her a little bit to kind of come to the realization.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What role has your faith played in your life, and both in the past and now?
So in the past, I wasn't really religious at all.
Okay, that's fair.
Because
we were young,
right? Like to me, it was never. I never really engaged in my religion back then. I have not been in religion in a minute because I left the religion when I was 15 and such. But I was never really, though I tried to engage. I know, which I will touch in obviously later on. Growing up, when I was in like group homes and whatnot, they had one of the Muslim brothers. He would come in and he would talk to us and teach us about the Quran and everything. I really tried, but I couldn't get into it. Yeah. I tried. It just wasn't for me. And so, I was always somebody who was more spiritual.
Yeah.
And everything. So that was the past. Present day, it has helped me a lot. I would say when I had left Islam and I started practicing spirituality, I had found my relationship with God. Because I do believe in God and everything. It has helped me a lot, helped me navigate just life as a whole. It's helped me become more confident in myself. It's helped me to, get through the days and see the brighter things in life, and know that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's dope. So. I love that for you, and I'm happy that you were able to find God in your spirituality, because I did as well. I can definitely resonate with that because I've never been religious. I've had religion all around me, but it was another thing to have religion around you, but to understand spirituality, and I just resonate so much with that because it's not so.
Right, it's not so rigid.
It's not so like,
and then everybody's journey is different, and that's okay. Like my path is different than somebody who, another spiritual practitioner. And I say spiritual practitioner because it's different for me. I am, so I practice, people might say witchcraft. People might say it's Ifa or, Santeria, whatever. For me, I dabble in a little bit of both. I also grew up around that stuff. So even though we were Muslim, we were very much, spiritual. I know on my father's side of the family, when we were kids, they used to send us talismans that were specifically made for the kids, for each of us, and it was for protection. So they were made out of these black leather things. I always thought they were beautiful. But they had a prayer in them that they would send to, I want to say they might be a high priest over in Africa or whatever. They would bless it and they would send it off to the kids and such. So I grew up around it. When I left the religion, though, my mom was not happy.
Oh, well, I would imagine so. That's tradition.
But what's funny? She's like, oh, that's that satanic shit and da 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 da. Meanwhile, she used to practice. I knew in the house, to me, but it was fine. I understood. So, like, she had the horseshoe above her front door, which is hoodoo. She had the iron cast behind the door with the iron stuff. She had the rooster, which if the rooster made noise, that means there was evil present in the house. She had all that stuff, and so she even had the Alegua statue and everything, which is the African Orisha and everything. So she had that stuff in the house, but I also understood her side of it because she's Muslim. Some of that stuff that's seen as like the devil stuff in that culture, but
yes, as well as with Christianity as well. So around, I know that you came out at the age of 20, right? Can you tell me about your experience at that age, coming out, and what were some of the challenges and triumphs you faced during that time?
Mm. So, okay, so I always say I like to use what my therapist helped me to describe. When I came out, I was disillusioned about how this life was going to be. Because I didn't grow up around any of this stuff.
Yes.
And
I think
everything.
I was disillusioned as well.
Because most of us were, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm finally going to, be able to live my truth. I'm going to find my friends. I'm going to find somebody to love me and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And to some degree, that was true. Mm-hmm. However, I wasn't really aware, and maybe it's because I guess I was sheltered a little bit. I wasn't aware how, for us black queer folk, just how hard it was in the community when we have to deal with racism, we have to deal with colorism, transphobia, internalized homophobia, classism, etc., especially from our own people.
Yeah.
And such. And so
awful.
that was a lot of what I had to deal with. People didn't even know me, and automatically I'm just nasty. I shared this in the project we're going to talk about later, I'm assuming, that when I came out, there was an incident I always remember that it was somebody of color that came, I think I was at Waterworks or something like that. I had somebody come up to me and I was like, I would never hang out with you. I would never talk to you. I would never date you. I don't date black people. And this is somebody who's black and darker skinned like me. I only date white or light skinned people. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. I'm like, but that was like one of many instances I had to deal with, where when I interact with other gay men of color, or even, not even just gay men, but, LGBTQ people of color, specifically in Albany, that is the reaction I get. It's this, but let a white man walk in. Oh, they be on that. Let one of the white queens come in. Oh, they be on them.
And there's nothing wrong with preference, but when it becomes colorist and like racist, it's like, bitch, go heal that. Go heal that.
And it's like at the end of the day, you're still a black person. No matter, I don't care how much. I don't know if we can curse on here.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't care how much white dick you take. I don't care how many white men you date or whatever. You are still black at the end of the day. And I am not your enemy. When I see a black person, I see you because I know what it's like being in this community. And just, not even just in Albany, but all around. Black LGBT people, we have it thrice as hard. We're black. We are queer. And some of us, we come from nothing or whatnot, but we have to deal with all this bullshit. So when I see somebody, whether you're gay, trans, whatever, and I see you, I'm like, hey, how you doing? I talk to you. I recognize. I see you. It ain't nothing, ain't no malicious thoughts or, ill intentions behind it. As I see you, because I know what it's like for us in this community.
Yeah.
And it's just the way that we react to each other is just...
It's disgusting. And I wish that stigma would go away, because we, like you said, we as colored individuals, and then not even colored, but also just like gays, we already have so much hate in the world. Why do we have to go in our own space and be hateful, more hateful to each other?
Oh, we have to be so guarded, like you were saying, we have to be so guarded and, very dismissive of each other, and it shouldn't be that way.
Right. Okay. So what were some of the key issues or causes that motivated you to get involved in activism? Because I think that, I know that that was a kind of switching gears, but I know that that statement that you just said can be fuel for being an advocate for standing up to that. So do you want to kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah. So honestly, from the moment I came up, again, because I did not grow up around the LGBTQ community, and that wasn't something I really knew about gay culture. From the moment I came out, it was actually my mom. She got me involved with the Pride Center, and from there, I came in wanting to learn. If I'm going to be in the community, I want to learn.
Right.
I want to, and this is also around the time where non-binary was just being introduced to the community. This is when, before gender, before all this stuff, what we have now, I was coming into community as they were still fighting for this, and it was now, slowly showing. So I was learning and everything, and I enjoyed it. I learned about the proper term for intersex, which we used to call hermaphrodite, and everything.
Okay.
So
that's right.
So I was learning, and I enjoyed. I thoroughly. I was an open sponge, I was a sponge.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn. I wanted to make sure I was getting pronouns right. I was learning about anything that I could, and getting involved with the Pride Center. There was a person there, Lyndon Cutlets. Sorry if I'm butchering your last name. Lyndon was in charge of doing the training, and when I volunteered for the Pride Center, they actually were teaching us about pronouns and all stuff, and I enjoyed the trainings. They were so much fun. Mm-hmm. You really got to ask questions. You got to engage, and that's what I love.
And you love learning.
Mm-hmm.
You love learning. Oh my goodness. What kind of grades did you get in school?
Oh, I was horrible in school, child.
Really?
I was so horrible.
You strike me as... Now, actually, now that we're talking, I do recall you saying... I do recall me having a conversation about this. But even outside of that conversation, when I think of you, you just give me that, like, you were just, like, so smart. And, like, you would have been, like, straight A's. Child, you was in there cutting up.
I was a fighter in school. I didn't give a fuck about school. I hated school.
Oh my God.
I hated school. I was a fighter. I wanted people to leave me alone. I hated school. I did not want to be there. Nothing. I used to sleep through that. I hated school. I used to fight. The students didn't leave me alone. They didn't really bother me, but I used to fight teachers in there.
Yeah, see, now, I didn't say that, but, like, when I was just, like, saying that, we had the conversation, that's what came to my mind.
Yeah, no, I used to fight. I was a scrapper. I used to say fighting. And then I used to walk right out that school. I didn't care. I'd be like, and bye. I did not care.
So, okay, so now back to the activism. Now, how have your experiences as a Black individual shaped your perspective and approach to activism?
Again, it's the learning thing.
The learning.
Like, for me, like, through this, getting involved with the because had not been for organizations like the Pride Center, In Our Own Voices, the Alliance for Positive Health, I wouldn't learn all this stuff. Like, prior to me...
shout out to those places for having that in place, because obviously that had a major impact on your life. It was super useful. So good job to you guys, because the resources are being acquired,
And it should be for everybody, Like, the thing is, if you're not... I always encourage people to go to these places, attend the groups and stuff like that. I attend the men's groups for these places, and that's why I learned more than, just doing the trainings, but that's how you learn. And so, like, I learned so much through these places, and so it shaped me, and you're always learning. Everything in our community is always changing, again, from the pronouns to, people's sexual orientation and, how fluid that can be. So you're always learning, and you meet so many different people from everywhere that has different experience, and you learn and you grow. And so, yeah.
Okay. Can you describe what it's like navigating life in New York City compared to upstate New York and Albany specifically?
You can't really compare. I think they're too different. But I will say this. My journey...
Well, not comparing, but, like, just, like, can you describe, like, what it's like navigating, like, the gay scene down there, and then, like, compare it to the one up here? I know for sure that you love New York City.
I absolutely
You love the city.
I love the city. For me, the city's LGBTQ community, it's way bigger, because that's what it is. It is. It's truly diverse. You will find your tribe there, no matter what your interest is. You will find your tribe there, and there's so many of us. And when I mean us as Black LGBTQ people there. So you feel seen. You feel, the love and acceptance. I enjoyed it because that was the first time I got to see real culture, even outside of just the gay LGBTQ stuff. I was living in Brooklyn, and I seen, you had on the corner, it was like the Avenue of Puerto Rico, where you had all the Latin poppies up there. They was playing the music and dancing and salsa, and they were having a good time. And then you go right around the corner, you see the Caribbeans, and it was beautiful to see, because we don't see that up here.
At oil.
We don't, and so it was just beautiful to see. But if we bring it back to the LGBT thing, it's just, for me, I enjoyed it because I felt seen. I found my tribe there. I found my people there. versus Albany. Albany, unfortunately, it's a smaller scene. And I say scene because I don't really call it a community because we're really not. In my opinion, it's a smaller scene. It's predominantly white, and if you are a person of color, it's difficult for the reasons I already explained.
Yeah.
And such like that. It's difficult here, and then there's not many resources or spaces for us to really go. We only got 2 gay bars. We have 2 organizations really that are LGBTQ that has like groups and whatnot, and even sometimes that can be kind of taxing because it's like, okay,
Same shit.
like
over
same
and over
shit,
again.
literally same
Shit, same people, same
thing. I'm like, okay, can we? I want to switch this. I'm like, can I meet new people
Yeah.
and stuff like that? It's just not much going on here.
Yes.
But
very unfulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
Very unfulfilling. What support systems have been most valuable to you in both your personal and your your personal and your professional life?
Well, one, my spirituality, of course.
Yes.
2, my therapist. And 3, my friends in New York City. Tommy, Bert, Chris, Caesar, Sherrod, all y'all.
Hey, boo. Hopefully y'all tune in. Make sure that y'all subscribe to my YouTube
Yes,
channel.
and the funny thing is, here's a little fun fact. Chris, Caesar, and Sherrod were on Pose.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say on Dreyas Closet.
I mean, they might be one. Yes.
No, I'm kidding. But okay, well, that's amazing. Well, okay, shout out to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how has the community in New York City and Albany responded to your activism efforts?
Well, see, I'm more known here for the activism in the city.
Are you looking?
In Albany and New York City, I have gotten into a little bit of things, but it would be better if I was actually there.
Is that something that you think you'll like step into eventually, like
Absolutely.
down there?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, they have so much. Like I visited their LGBTQ center there, which is the second oldest center here in the state. Because the Pride Center here, that's the oldest one in the country.
Really?
Yes, the Pride Center in the Capital Region is the oldest LGBTQ center in the country.
Over on.
Yep, it is the oldest. It was 71. They opened in 1971.
Get the fuck.
Yes, it is the
Albany
oldest.
had like a large gay population back in the day.
Obviously, it was predominantly white and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure people of color were there, but the Pride Center was never for us. And so that's how In Our Own Voices came about and everything. Yeah.
Now you see.
Mm-hmm.
But that's so unfortunate because I've supported things with Pride Center, but I have heard different instances where they have been very discriminatory. They discriminated and have been colorist to employees that have even worked there.
But I want to say this, if the Pride Center is watching, again, this is not to bash y'all, because we need all of our centers. But I also believe in telling the truth and us telling our truths, regardless if people agree with it or not.
I love the Pride Center and I love In Our Own Voices. I actually just supported the Pride Center, recently when you had your
They definitely are trying to make amends for things that happened in the past, so I give them that.
That's what's up. See, that's what counts.
And stuff like that. I would like to see more because certain things are not
adding up.
It's not adding up. It still gives what I've seen over the last decade.
Yeah.
But again, hey, that's neither here or there.
Yeah.
But yes, no, so like here, I'm more known for the activism because I do work again with these organizations. So I'm more accessible here. There, I went to their, a few people know me, but I went to their center and I fell in love with it.
Really?
Bitch, when I tell you they got multiple floors, that's actually where they host some of the balls.
Oh, where in the city?
Yeah, at that center. That center is huge.
Oh no, I know which one you're talking about. I've been there a couple of times when I was a kitten, and then I think I went back a couple of years ago because there's a Vogue practice being held there, and I because they have a lot of different studios in there, right?
And there's like multiple floors. They got elevators. They have work that was done by Keith Harrington.
Okay.
Who, if y'all look him up, I'm not gonna tell y'all, but that is somebody who's very significant in queer culture.
Oh, really? Okay.
Especially back in the AIDS epidemic.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, he passed away from the AIDS epidemic, but he was an artist, activist, and whatnot. Look him up. Look at his work.
That's amazing.
But they have his work in the bathroom. They host a lot of the galas there, where you see a lot of celebrities. So like people like Chanel Lopez, who is works for Kathy Hochul. She is the first Afro-Latina trans woman to hold that position. She's deputy director of LGBTQ affairs and everything. So they do a lot of the galas there. They do so much there.
That's
and
amazing.
I love it. I remember they hosted their queer book fair there. That's what I went to.
Oh, okay.
Because my friend
That's
is
fun.
a poet there. So he,
yeah.
that's how I saw it, and I fell in love with that shit. And there's so many people of color there.
See, and that's what's up, especially like when they turn up and
Child, it was so much, and they got a fucking cafe in there.
Oh yeah, oh yes, yeah. No, that center is completely equipped with everything that you might need. That's why I fell in love. Like when I went, I was like, wow, okay, they're doing their big one, investing the money wisely that they have gotten funded for. You know what I mean? What advice would you give to young people who are coming out and considering getting involved in activism?
Do your research.
Okay. Yeah.
Do your research and understand that you don't. There's not one way to really be an activist. You do what you can, whether that be you support causes or whatnot, or you speak out on things that you know of and you're knowledgeable of. I'm not knowledgeable of everything in the community. I speak out on certain things. The things that are important to me are encouraging, men who have sex with men, especially the young ones, to get tested, knowing our status.
And use protection.
And then, being sex positive, not being ashamed of talking about what you like sexually and stuff like that, and, owning your sexual liberation and freedom, but also taking charge in your future and creating spaces for you. That's how our ancestors did it. That's how shit got done in the past with Stonewall and stuff like that.
Right.
When we saw that things were not here for us, we took charge and made it happen.
Made it happen, yeah. That's dope as hell. And I love your answer, because that is being educated and owning who you are, and whatever that looks like is so important to being a leader and finding helping other people find themselves and find,
well, somebody has to do it. There's not many of us today who's really pouring into the next generation, because reality is that, as more Glamazon told me, we're becoming the elders at this point. Who? Listen, the reality is that even though we look young and fine and everything, we eventually become the new elders. And so, we have to pour into the next generation and, to make sure that they carry on, fighting for things and everything.
Yes.
So that's the reality.
Yes.
So I do my part in that and creating space for us, making sure we have what we need, and that's the best you can do.
Can you share any memorable moments or achievements from your activism work that you're particularly proud of?
Queer Talk.
Oh.
Queer Talk. So, Queer Talk is my actual documentary series. Lala has actually been on it.
Yes. And where can they find that?
It's actually on my YouTube, under Manon Productions LLC. But Queer Talk, it had allowed me to find community members that I have never met and connect with them. Because we talk about different topics for me that I would like to see in media and whatnot, us talk about, from living with HIV and like the realness of it, and talking about all that you can think of, from how you navigate dating and intimacy, how people contracted the virus, and the myths and stuff like that, and really getting into people's stories and giving them that space to share their stuff. Also talking about addiction, talking about what it's like being LGBTQ in the media, ballroom, for instance. So many different topics we talk about, and and I enjoyed it because people get to share their stories and talk about things that we don't really get to talk about, and it's for us, by us.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Guys, you have to make sure that you follow him on all platforms. Shout out your platforms and where they find you.
All my platforms are Manon Productions LLC. You will see them. It literally has a logo that says Manon Productions on it, but it's all my platforms is Manon Productions LLC on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All of them shits.
All of them. And then I'm going to also obviously put it in the illustrations, for them to find. That's absolutely amazing. We are about to step into some deep water. Okay.
Bring it. Hold up. Wait.
Yes.
Let me lubricate, honey.
Yeah. Period, honey. So when you sent over the things that you like to that you want to discuss and talk about, you threw in something that had kind of I was like, okay, and I didn't expect from you. So, do you want to share some insight or like some details about your experience with sex work and
Sure.
because it does that segue into sexual abuse?
No.
No, those are two totally
Two different things.
Okay, we'll start off with that.
Which one? The sex
The
work?
sex work, yes.
So sex work, I actually got into that when I was in the city. So here's the thing. To give a little backstory, I moved from Albany when I was 23, about getting ready to turn 24. Because like when I moved, the day I got there, I had just turned 24. And a friend of mine, actually, who used to perform at Rocks, DJ J Clef.
Okay.
Shout out to DJ Clef. I still consider him like somebody who like a fucking angel, because had it not been for him, I wouldn't have known how to navigate queer nightlife or just queer life in the city. He's now a huge person in the gay nightlife scene in New York City. But anyways, I met in nightlife there and stuff like that, and you tend to get caught up a little bit because I was young and I was like, bitch, I want to party. I didn't come here to work no 9 to 5 shit like that, because I was doing that. But I was like, bitch, I want to party. I want to have fun. So I used to go to the Cock, which is if you don't know nothing about the Cock, it's basically one of them bars that bitch shit goes down in there.
Like private rooms and
Private rooms on the dance floor. Take your pick.
Duh.
I definitely did it on the dance floor. Absolutely, I met some fine now. Okay. I met one that looked like Chinky. He wasn't Chinky though, but he looked like.
He looked like Chingy.
He did, and child, the thing.
It was thing.
It was thinging. Oh. Yes, but anyways, I segue into all that because I was young, and so there was a moment where I fell on hard times, and so I'm going to always make sure that I have what I need.
Period.
I don't by any means necessary. I couldn't keep a job there, especially it was like during the summertime. It's really difficult for me keeping a job, and so I said, "Fuck it." Well, shit, I'm gonna use what I got to get what I need.
Period.
And so that was the first time I got into sex work. I was again meeting people at the gay bars and whatnot and stuff like that, and I did what I needed to do, and it kept me afloat and stuff like that. The second time was during COVID.
Really?
That first few months, like when they first shut everything down and they took us out of work, I jumped back in. I didn't have no money coming in. And also I was working at the River Street Club here in Albany. If you don't know anything about the River Street Club is a gay bathhouse.
Where in Troy?
Yep. I used to work there.
Wait, the bookstore?
No, it's actually a gay bathhouse. You can't.
You know what I'm talking about, right? The legendary bookstore that they used to have like all the porn, and then like in the back it was
yes, but no. This is a different one.
Okay.
This is a different one.
I've never been to that place
because
I've always heard of it. It's like off of Hoosick, I think.
Yep. But they wouldn't let you in. Unfortunately,
really,
it's for men only.
Oh.
They will not let any woman know trans nothing.
Really?
No, it is for strictly men. And it was mostly white men up in that bitch.
Oh, well, of course.
You had to figure, but the thing is, what's also funny? A lot of them work for the city. They work for the state. These were people.
Oh, I already know.
So when they see me now, they be like, "Ooh, I know your team." But anyways, that was the second time I had did it during COVID because once again, I was out of work. I have no money. You never knew what the money was coming. This before they gave us the stimulus check and that $600 in unemployment. So I did what I needed to do to make sure that I had.
Period.
And if I ever needed to do it again, I would motherfucking do it again. However, I was also afraid.
Oh, well, I
was definitely afraid. Though I'm not trans or anything, I'm still queer. And I'm very visibly queer. And the thing that always came on my mind was, is somebody going to try to kill me?
Yeah.
Is somebody going to hurt? Especially during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I was getting to the... Honestly, I made a lot of money during COVID. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm familiar with sex work as well. And, COVID, it was a scary time, but the girls was making coins.
Yes, they was. And listen,
people were bored. people had a lot of time on their hands, and people did not care about the 6 feet. Some did, but to be honest, people are horny.
But that's also the time where a lot of HIV cases had came up here in the capital region.
Oh, really?
Yeah, during that time, because everything was shut down, you really couldn't. People were meeting up, so there was a lot of cases for HIV, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, etc. I still stayed in touch with my doctors and whatnot, but they were keeping me in the loop of what was going on. So yeah, there was a lot, going on. But for me, once my money came in, I stopped.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just needed my money. That's all I wanted.
Right.
Because bitches wasn't trying to hire nobody to become, essential worker. Again, I did all that I could do. But see, when I ain't got no money, I need my money. So
yeah.
I'm going to get it by.
What are some misconceptions about sex work that you would like to address, if there are any for you?
See, I feel like I wouldn't be the good person, a right person to answer that. Everyone has their own reasons to do it. I will say it made me more empathetic with sex workers because prior down, I used to somewhat look down on it until I had to experience it.
Okay.
And such, because I just didn't, sometimes if you don't live it, you don't get it.
And I'm in Gag Nation because I know a lot of you may be gagging with me. And if you don't know what gagging is, I'm shocked. I'm like, just, yes. I would have never had thought that you would have dabbled into sex work. You are very worldly.
Child, listen. I live a very private life. I don't tell people anything unless I want them to know.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I was in the city, child, the Shei that people knew here, like a lot of people from the scene here, they knew me when I was younger. I was very quiet, very much like to myself. When I moved to the city, I was completely I let the fuck loose. I was like, nobody knows me here. Shit, I'm gonna live my best life.
Right. And that was the same energy that I used to have, like when I would go out of town as well.
Now, girl, don't nobody know these people, and I see all these fine ass men that want me. I was like, okay, well, shit, let me. And they was fine too, especially in Brooklyn. I love me a Brooklyn man, child.
Yes, I used to love Brooklyn men. Now I only love my Alabama man.
Oh, them Southern men too.
Yes, he's such a Southern prince.
Listen, them Southern men. Ooh.
Lord.
Bless them.
So now, do you have any advice for anybody that may be considering sex work, specifically
men who have sex with men?
Yeah.
Stay safe. Get tested all the time. Know your boundaries and whatnot. The main thing is just safety.
Yeah.
It's just safety all around, especially what's going on in the world. With us, there's a lot of anti-LGBTQ folks that they don't like us. They don't live for us. They don't want us here.
So a lot of them fantasize they want to have sex with us, but our existence they are still uncomfortable with.
Especially with DL
outside
men.
of sex.
Especially with DL men.
Exactly.
Protection, safety is a must. And then again, getting tested, knowing your status and whatnot. Don't compromise your sexual boundaries and your sexual health for anything because you only have one life. And, granted, HIV is no longer a death sentence, but you wouldn't want to live with it. That's a long-term thing. Granted, many people are living in healthy lives, but that's not something you want to live with.
That's not something that
you
are
forever
about.
You are forever immunocompromised and stuff like that. And so let's say we have another pandemic, you are at greater risk and everything. So it just overall just protect yourself, protect your sexual health, knowing your boundaries, making sure somebody knows where your location and whatnot. It's just again.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. And yes, safety. For my sex working girlies, or if you're considering, just stay safe. There's too much shit going on out here.
And also, it's a means to an end. It's not supposed to be forever.
Yes. Oh, that's such a good point to make because you can get lost in the fast money. Take it from me. I have been around the block many times. I know. You can get trapped off, and it can become addicting. That's another thing that sex work. Thing about sex work that a lot of people don't know is that it becomes an addiction as well because you, after so many years, and I'm talking about people who really work the ads and work the strip or work wherever, however you do it, after a while, it becomes something that you inherit that's like almost secondhand, like almost like muscle memory, like when you're working something continuously. And you can get trapped off. But like you said, that's all that to say is that it is not something that you should be resting on.
No.
If you're trying to get some bread up, if you know, like, I would suggest keep that 9 to 5. If you want to travel out of town on the weekend, if you want to travel and do your things on the low, but don't make that the end all be all. You take your chances with OnlyFans, no shade. You know what I'm saying?
And then even that is tricky because it's not.
Well, like making it like a career, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, with OnlyFans, you can market yourself in such a way, because I have now that I do for real. I have like almost a 40K following on Twitter, and I cater to, before I got into my relationship, I used to really work it, like, and that's dropping the correct promo, good promo, making smart collaborations and doing different things, but dropping and entertaining your audience, and also engaging with the audience so that you can actually get monetary gain. And so it's like, you know, be wise about how you're spending your time doing the sex work. So outside of that, we're going to go back into the other topic.
Childhood, yes.
Yes. Now, a bigger reason why I wanted Shei to come on board today is because I know that a lot of people may misunderstand your energy, your demeanor. You can be a little rigid. You can have attitude. You can be like, have that resting bitch face where it's like, you can. And that's fine, because me too. And I resonate 100% with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do know a lot of times people will see that and completely miss the gem that's in here. So, you mind giving people like a little background, you know, on like maybe some of your sexual abuse or traumas that has molded you into who you are today?
So here's a little known thing that people don't know, or they may or may not know. I don't know. Anyways, but so from the age of 6 to 15, I was raised in the group homes and everything. I was shipped all around. And so my mom really didn't raise me much, but like I was raised in the group homes and everything. And I have seen so many like horrible things happen in there. Really didn't happen to me because I was one, I like to fight, and I was one, I used to get people fired and all that stuff. But I was put in the group homes because I grew up in a household, unfortunately, because I was in a single parent household. My mom did all she could do and everything, but she had to work. She had to take care of kids and whatnot. And in that, I was raped on several occasions. I was abused by siblings, by people that she trusted for us to look after us and whatnot, and some neglect was there, again, because she had to work and everything. I don't blame my mom. I forgave my mom for things that happened years before she passed away. So
she was aware of the...
She actually walked in one day when I was being raped.
Oh, my God, what happened?
So it was a young boy around my age, and he was, you know, with me. She walked in, she had a fit of rage. She's about to kill that little motherfucker. But had my sister not came in and grabbed me and talked to me. She took me to Lincoln Park and talked to me and everything and stuff like that. We found out that the young boy was also being, you know, molested as well and such. So
it was something that's perpetuated.
And keep in mind, we were 6 at that time.
Oh no, okay.
So I don't blame him or anything. I blame the adults.
That's learned behavior.
Yes, and so like I hope that he had gotten the help, and you know he's in a better place because we both were victims. But again, I don't blame him. I don't have any malice towards him. However, one of the other people in his family were also somebody who was raping me and whatnot.
Were they older?
Yeah, they were older.
How much older?
They were a grown-ass person. And I will never forget. I don't want to get too graphic on this, but I remember the incident that happened at the babysitter's house because they were babysitters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that whole family, they were nasty. So when the lady passed away, I cheered. I said, I'm glad that bitch is dead because she was evil. She was evil. Her family is evil. All of them, they're nasty, trifling muckers. And it's just, ugh. And the thing that bothered me is that some of my siblings are still friends with that family to this day. Oh, and that's not even the worst part. The other worst part is that on the day that first incident happened, my brothers was like, that's why you're such and such's lover. As I was walking out after it just happened. Yeah, so all of those experiences, throughout my life, it made me very hateful towards people, but specifically men. I've never really gotten along with men. I was always more, comfortable and got along easier with women and such. And so I've seen many instances, throughout my life where adults and people abuse their powers and authority and everything, especially on vulnerable kids and stuff like that. So that plays a part into how I am now. Granted, I'm way better thanks to therapy because I am in therapy. I love it and I enjoy it and stuff like that. But that's one part. The other part is, again, I was raised in the group homes. If you've never been a child who's been raised in the group homes, you don't understand how that affects, but especially from the ages of 6 to 15. Those are very important moments and ages in one's life, especially as a young boy. I raised myself, basically. Yeah. So, everything, I had to fight for myself. We never were physically abused here, but I did witness them doing emotional and mental abuse. Especially, again, we were boys we were hitting in puberty at times. So, they would pin us against each other. They were like, oh, this is the good one. Mm-hmm. This is how y'all should aspire to be. And, they'd be like, oh, y'all don't know how good y'all got it. Y'all got da-da-da. Meanwhile, many of us in those situations, we came from homes where we were not wanted, we were abused, people gave us up for adoption, you name it. And so we came from broken homes. So you telling us that, and we dealing with mental issues and shit like that, you're playing with somebody's mind and stuff like that. So that was a lot of things that I had seen and experienced there and whatnot. I was also very suicidal as a kid and everything. I tried to take my life on numerous occasions and whatnot. And so how that plays out now as an adult, again, I've gotten better with it, but it makes me not trust people. Mm-hmm. I'm very much to myself. I like my alone time. I've always been alone even before all that. I like being alone. I'm not too fond of people. Like, I one person alone I could take. But when it's most people, I'm not. I don't do well in crowds and whatnot and such. And then, when I see certain behaviors and patterns that I recognize from youth, yeah, I'm not too fond of that shit. And so it's a protective thing. But also, I'm African. If you've never been around a bunch of Africans, we ain't so open like that.
Right.
We're very much like, And sometimes I don't know that my face is doing things. That is
true. That is actually very true.
Sometimes I don't be knowing that my face be doing things. So it's not, and honestly, most times the people that usually take a problem with me and whatnot in this community, they see me in one setting. You see me at waterworks or something like that. You have not seen me outside. And 9 times out of 10 when I'm outside, if you have seen me while I'm walking outside, girl, I'll be having my headphones on just in my own damn world. I be listening to Escape. I be listening to Sierra, some, SWV, all that. I be in my literally, I be listening to my own thing in my own world. I don't be thinking about anybody else. Be minding my business. Yeah. Now, if you approach me in a very nice, respectful way, of course hey, how you doing? How you stuff like that? But ultimately, I'm really not I'm very reserved, stay to myself, and I like it that way. So if you bring the conversation to me, of course I will engage and stuff like that. But, but I'm also not one that takes shit. So I'm a little bit complex.
Okay.
If that makes sense, I tend to.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I want to say thank you for being vulnerable and transparent with that, because that's not easy for everyone to verbalize and be like, that like open about, you know what I mean? But like it happens to a lot of us more often than it doesn't. And a lot of people who don't speak about it, they're very familiar. So it takes a lot to actually own that, understand it, and
And for me, it wasn't until adulthood I actually got help. And I got re-diagnosed with my mental health. Because they used to say that I was schizophrenic, I was bipolar and everything, and I wasn't. But and for many black kids, especially, also I want to touch back also, being a queer youth in the group home and foster home system, or being queer, before I came out and everything, that was also hard because I used to get, the older staff, and this is before they had policies now in group homes and stuff like that, where you must learn pronouns. You will go through training to know about, LGBT stuff. But I remember staff used to be like, "Oh, real men don't walk like that. Real men don't talk like that. You act too feminine. You too much for girls. So you hanging around girls too much, and da 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 da." It's like little shit like that.
Oh God, that statement is actually one of the statements that I absolutely hate. When I say I hate that statement because I heard it so much. As a child, I probably heard you talk like a girl.
Even
like,
with my
my
own relative siblings, they used to be like that. And the funny thing is, out of all of them, I'm actually doing a lot better than a good amount of them. I have my own business. I am respected in my community, whether people want to admit it or not. I do good for my community. If I was such an evil,
standing on business,
exactly. People recognize me in my community for the work that I've done. If I was just such evil person as sometimes people make it out to be, evil people wouldn't come out their own pocket to put on events every summer. Sure. Evil people wouldn't advocate for community members to get paid what they're worth for campaigns and whatnot and fight, because I know what it's like to be, we're queer people and we're queer people of color. We should be you bringing us on for these projects. You should be paying us. Y'all can pay these white folks X amount of dollars. Y'all can pay us. You can pay a couple people a couple coins to get paid and for us to utilize us and everything. So if I was this evil and nasty person, I wouldn't do that for people. Yeah. What evil, selfish, nasty person does that?
Yeah.
And
I actually, in one of my boxes that I have behind this camera, there's like a lot of boxes because I'm moving. But I have my award that you presented me with. It used to hang right there on my wall before I took it down to pack. But so I said that to say is that he actually does do a lot within the community. You host a lot of different events, and I have performed at some, and and supported a lot of his events, and we are proud of you. The ones who you've are close to and that have actually been to your stuff. We do appreciate you, and we are very proud of you. Proud to have you be such a prominent figure within the community.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because oftentimes, especially up here, I feel like I am not a part of the community, which is why I tend to, again, another reason why I tend to be by myself. I feel like I am not a part of the community. I feel like people, they only like me or love me with conditions. You like me when I can do stuff for you, or you like me when, I can get your resources, or, I put you on things, or like when, in that moment. But the moment you have a disagreement with me, or I don't agree with something, or I state my opinion that many people have said, like I'll talk about the shit that's going on in Albany. Whether you agree with it or not, I'm not the only one that's saying it, but because I said it, you feel some type of way about it, and now all of a sudden, I'm public enemy number one. You're going around telling everybody X, Y, and Z, or you make a subliminal post about me, and just all this other shit when you could come to me directly, and we could hash this out. Sometimes with us, all it takes is a conversation, in private, off social media, and whatnot, to squash things for any misunderstandings.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Yeah. So, in October, you released the documentary that we all, well, I starred in, as well as my gay mother Lisa, and a lot of other figures in the community and outside of our community. There were some things that were left out. We are about to finish up here soon. But do you mind touching on a few topics that you may not have touched on, or like some things that didn't get said in the documentary?
Yeah, there was a lot, honestly. There was, topics of transphobia. There were topics of, the AIDS epidemic in Albany. There was topics about pride. There was a bunch of other stuff. Some of that stuff is going to be used in season 4 of Queer Talk and the new year and stuff like that. But there was so much that was discussed and everything. There were things that were in the film that we touched on even more. But because of timing and how the story flew, I had to chop it up. And
so that being said, be on the lookout for eventually, not right away, but that's more of the details, because we talk. Well, I know for my segment in his documentary, I was talking about my experience with being a Black trans woman who is also a showgirl. I'm a showgirl. I'm an entertainer. A lot of you know that, and the things that I faced behind the scenes with doing large campaigns or shows or festivals and things. What actually goes on behind the scenes, and the real on the Albany gay scene, the good and the bad. You know what I mean? So we can expect more of that, because there was a lot that you left out of the documentary. How long was the documentary? Like almost 2 hours? Like 2 hours?
So the documentary that's out now, which is again on my YouTube, is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
There was 3 hours worth of footage that was left out.
So that alone lets you know that there's a lot of tea, information.
There was so much, like from the political side, from the trans side, from the gay side, from young, old, you name it. It was so much that was left out, but because again timing, I could not put all that in. It was like I've seen it several different versions. I had to chop it down for it to be not too long and everything. So most of that will be definitely brought up, and some of those people who talked about it will be brought back for season 4 of Queer Talk to talk about more of that stuff.
My goodness, this has been an absolutely fabulous show. I am so pleased with the way that this went free flowing. I know I have my questions and stuff, but the way that you navigate and spill the tea and give us the drop on everything is absolutely phenomenal. And I can't thank you enough for being that vulnerable on the show.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. Like I said, Shei has been very fundamental in what I'm doing actually right now. You've seen the beginning stages of Dreyas Closet. I worked in Channel Albany thanks to Shei. Yeah. And from that, I've learned so much about, filming, producing, interviewing. And I want to say thank you so much, honestly.
And seriously. I want to say I'm so proud of everything that you're doing and where you're going.
Yeah.
I'm so proud that you are getting up out of here and you are going to live, your life.
Yes.
I truly appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing what more comes with you.
Me too, baby.
Yes. And then on that note,
love is the highest vibration.